recorded live in studio. It's Avalon Emerson and the Charm, a performance of Eden. It's the song that opens her sophomore record, Written into Changes. Avalon Emerson is my guest today. I'm Kallao. It's World Cafe. So nice to meet. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Eden opens the record, right? And it feels like a really apt introduction into this world that you've created. One that's distinct from your world as a DJ producer. I'm interested, can you talk about how these two worlds complement each other?
Yeah. I think that maybe primarily as a DJ, I think that like my main task with that is to like go out in the world and find music. And I've been doing that compulsively, obsessively forever. And I turned it into a job. And I got to a point where there's so much music out there that is not dance music. And I got really into like the idea of songwriting and the like songs themselves, like trying to make that. And I did the first record and I loved it and wanted to make another one too.
Yeah. Well, I think we should back up a little bit for the assistance of the audience,
yes.
Which is your background, DJ, producer. You'd been doing that for a grip, and the pandemic happens, and there are a couple of things that you sort of bump into, and you talk about songwriting. I think a perfect place to jump off on that, or songs itself, is the Jeff Tweedy book, How to Write One Song. Like, that sort of opened the door to the idea of doing more singing and being a performer?
Maybe not the performer part, but like sometimes I was kind of familiar with the idea of like in order to write or make like any dance music song, you have to make a bad one first, and then you can kind of stair step up in complexity and hopefully quality. And I had been making dance music like by myself in Ableton for about a decade. And I was like, okay, now I want to make this new kind of music. Like, how do I start? How do I think about it? And a lot of it, I think, was like really paying close attention to songs that I love and always have loved. And like, what about these lyrics make me feel something? And what about this structure and chord progression and the sounds in them make it a great song? And like, how can I do my version of this? I think the thing that was cool about the Jeff Tweedy book was that like he writes about it in a very like casual, like communal kind of way. And that really spoke to me because I think that like at best, like we live in such like a professionalized music landscape where there's like, these are professional artists and like, these are amateurs, and there's this great divide. And I think with DJing, it's like, I think everyone kind of is a DJ. Everyone grabs the aux and plays stuff.
Has taste, yeah. Has a point of view.
And I was like, okay, like making music is like this too, and it should be like this. And I thought that the way that he was talking about it, I was like, okay, it actually is as accessible as I was hoping.
100%. And I love that it's not a how-to book. Like, it really leaves it open to interpretation. I know you've talked a little bit about how DJing and production can be a solitary experience. Mm-hmm. How did working with other people and ultimately a group and a producer, how did that change your creative flow?
It's amazing. I mean, I feel like I'm like discovering something that all other musicians like inherently know, that it's like the reason why we make music is because we want to make stuff with our friends, and like that's fun. Yeah. It's not just about the end result. So yeah, I think that it was just like, this is amazing, this is fun. And like being able to loop in, like for this record, to be like, I want like a really sick drummer, and like, let's get somebody who's really amazing at like woodwind instruments, and getting like clarinet and a saxophone, and like making it a larger project is not something that I really did with dance music. So
yeah. We're here with Avalon Emerson on World Cafe. Want to get into another track. Maybe it's because I'm 46, but the line, too young to die, too old to break through, in Happy Birthday really resonates with me. Where do you remember where you first thought of that line and what it was in relation to?
I was singing into this like old vocoder thing, And yeah, it just kind of came out. I mean, I have like my lyric writing process is like I just like jot down a bunch of like turns of phrases and thoughts and ideas and even just words that I like the sound of. And when I'm faced with like a bit of an open canvas and you kind of like play around with like melodies, and then I can like look at this like long scroll and piece things together that way.
Let's hear it. It's Avalon Emerson and the Charm here on World Cafe, a performance of Happy Birthday.
Too young to die, too old to break through. Too young to die, too old to break through. You say you're leaving the city. It's worn a hole in your soul that you fill with the blood of all
Recorded live in studio. It's Avalon Emerson and the Charm, a performance of Happy Birthday. It's from her new album, Written into Changes. Avalon is my guest today on World Cafe. You worked with your longtime collaborator, record producer, Nathan Jenkins, who goes by Bullion, right? Yeah. You said that working with him cracked open your head and your heart. What does that look like?
Where did I say that? I mean, it's true, but I think he's amazing.
We have records.
Nathan's amazing. I first met him when he lived in Lisbon, and I heard a song of his called Blue Pedro. Another friend of mine showed it to me, and I became obsessed with it. And I was like, I must meet this guy. And I was DJing in Lisbon one time, went over to his studio, and we really hit it off. We kind of come from similar places where he used to also be kind of a DJ. Mm-hmm. And a lot of our musical influence Venn diagrams overlap in a nice way, and we can just talk about music forever. And yeah, it's like I trust him when like he thinks like something's a good idea or if we should move on. And it's not so like drilling down for like an hour on retaking, vocal passes or anything like that. And it's really like fun to make music with him.
When you're thinking about what you want to do with your albums and say, let's talk about this record, are you working together collaboratively to sort of figure out what maybe the major themes of the record are? Like, I want it to sound this way, and I want, like, how do we get to this goal? How do we solve this objective? Or is it something a little bit less structured and more sort of organic in terms of how these things play out?
I think for this one, I wanted it to be a little more like, I guess, just like upbeat, like more powerful, more banging. We wrote a lot of this album by like renting a kind of like a converted barn outside of London for a couple weeks and didn't bring a ton of gear, just like a handful of synths, some studio monitors, and having some limitations like that. And like a lot of the synths were like, he just bought it. And it was like the vocoder that I was talking about, it was like, yeah, I got this for like, a couple £100 on eBay. And like, this is really cool. And like, it ended up being on so much of the record. And like the kind of where you start from a more similar place where it's not like I'm going into somebody's studio and they have like everything set up. They have infinite options. And it's like, there's too much latitude. It's like we're kind of like starting from a similar place, and a leveled playing field feels really organic and an easy place to grow from.
Yeah. And so much of this record, particularly the lyrics, evoke nature. Did that have anything to do with your being out in this environment?
Probably. I mean, I also just like, I spend so much of my time like in city centers in a like overstimulating club at 2 a.m. Mm-hmm. And I think that I find a lot of comfort in one of the oldest art inspirations, which is nature.
It's World Cafe. We're here with Avalon Emerson. Let's listen to a song with a lot of natural imagery. What can you tell us about Wooden Star?
This one, I think, was like maybe more non-linear, which I love because you can just like paint a heterogeneous mosaic of images and feelings of just living life these days. Whether it means feeling like you're just indebted to the great casino, or something that I think about every time I mow my lawn is like, oh my God, what if there's a rabbit's nest right in front and I don't see it? Like, what? Greatest fear. So it's that, sometimes you're mowing your lawn and sometimes you feel like the rabbit. And that's how it is now.
Let's take a listen to Wooden Star here on World Cafe. It's Avalon Emerson.
Incandescent fire in motion, wooden star figure to prey on, secret eyes camera rolling, milkweed floats under the current. Tonight I'm riding this high.
It's Avalon Emerson and the Charm. The song is called Wooden Star. It's from the sophomore album, Written into Changes. It's out now. Avalon is my guest. I'm Kallao. This is World Cafe. I would love to talk about a project that you released last year called Perpetual Emotion Machine. You made these songs because you were feeling detached from the dance music world?
I mean, I was, because I had been like focusing so much on the first album release and then touring that. And kind of once that was over, I was like, oh my God, I have to like remember how to be a DJ. And it was right before I was playing New Year's at Panorama Bar in Berghain in Berlin. And like, there's something that happens to me every time I'm about to play that place, or I get an idea for a edit or a song or something like that. And I ended up making a few of those like in the course of like a couple days. And it was really nice actually, because sometimes I had thought that making the Charm album was kind of a reaction to feeling maybe bored with DJing, but maybe I just needed a break and I needed to focus some energy into a arena that I was not very comfortable in. Mm-hmm. And doing that for a while, like re-energized my love for dance music, and I felt it surge back, and I made a bunch of things, and this ended up being the Perpetual Emotion Machine.
Like, I really want to give our audience a little perspective on this, because like the club that you're talking about in Berlin that you're playing, like this is a very special place in the world of dance music. Like the running joke is, how do you get into this nightclub?
It's great, yeah.
And you got and you had a residency there. You would close that, like 8-hour sets, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing there for like a decade now, which is so crazy. But sometimes when you do the closing sets, like now it's about 8 hours. I know that sounds crazy. I think the longest I've played is almost 12 hours, which is crazy. But I kind of have continued to play like 4 times a year, something like that. And the bedrock of like going back there and DJing to like the audience that is like takes it very seriously, and you can really go in a lot of different places and try things out, and the dance floor will stay with you, and like they expect a high bar, I think makes me a better DJ, and I love it. And I think that's why I get these little flashes of inspiration right before I play.
I'm glad you get to go back to it and you enjoy it. This is World Cafe. We are here with Avalon Emerson and the Charm. The new album is called Written into Changes. It's available now. We're going to close things out with How Dare This Beer? A hoedown of luminescent fireflies. What a weirdly specific phrase. That
Nathan loves that line too.
It made a lot of people smile in the room, for sure. Where did the line come from?
I don't know. I wrote this. This is like a weird process for me, where it was like I was just in like a plane or something, and I wanted to try to like write a poem before there was any music written or anything. Mm-hmm. And I just basically had written all these lyrics as a kind of standalone, whatever, 12 lines. And then when I was in Braintree outside of London with Nathan, he had like this like old, like kind of like 6/8 beat, and he threw that up, and we put some like chords, also running the synth through the vocoder. And then I just got on the mic and I like sang my poem, and it was just like, he would like play some new chords and then I would kind of change the melody, and kind of recorded most of the song just like in one take like that. So
that's the dream, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it works like that.
Awesome. Let's check out a live performance of How Dare This Beer. It's Avalon Emerson and the Charm here on World Cafe.
Hanging head, so crisp and suffocate me. How dare they cradle me in my tears so gently. So gently. What right do the stars have to sparkle up in the sky? Hold down of luminescent fireflies. Disco dancing in the heavens, sharing ecstasy and having the time of their lives. How dare they party light years away? Well, I'm down here stuck on the ground. I might as well be in the dirt. Oh, in the dirt.
Recorded live on World Cafe, it is Avalon Emerson and the Charm with How Dare This Beer. The new album, Written into Changes, is available now. Avalon, it was an absolute pleasure. Congrats on the album, and please come back and see us again soon.
Thank you. This was wonderful.
Awesome. We're back in a minute with more World Cafe.